Hello, my 102ers. If you're watching this, you're still enrolled in the summer section, so that's wonderful news. Hopefully, my first week's videos didn't turn you off to watching another one. I'm really not that bad, I promise. I just get passionate about the topic, and I also don't want to be the boring talking head on the screen that makes you go to sleep. So let's keep going. I swear to you that this week's material is not as dense and video-intensive as last week's. So let's start with the weekly announcement. Here it is. I'm always going to start with the line that tells us what week we're in because it gets confusing. You're going to become used to my organization pretty soon. I've got our, what we did last week, what we're doing this week. Please, please, please watch the video. Oh, look, here's the video. Here's a chapter listing for the video. This is what's coming up. So these two links here are going to be to help you get ready for your research essay, which is going to be due in week 3, not week 2. Here is the directions and sample for this essay. Here is what the class should be reviewing this week. Choosing search terms for sources, finding sources on the internet, finding journal articles, and evaluating sources. As you can see here, I have these video links. These are embedded videos within the documents themselves. I did not create these videos. I just gave you the direct YouTube links to them, so please feel free to use them if you need to, okay? And then down here, of course, we have our assignments, and that's going to tell us when it's going to be due by, as well as what is due. As you can see here, we've got two things, the discussion board part 2, and then the progress checkpoint, okay? So that's lovely. That's wonderful. But if you don't really want to look through the relatively packed announcement, we can always go back to the main page and click on the View the Course Schedule to get to the masterclass schedule. You can either click on the picture or click on the link, and it takes you right here. Honestly, we've already done week 1. We can see that, hey, guess what? Memorial Day, the college is closed. So now we're at week 2, okay? We have these 4 links that will take you to pages that we're going to go over and that you can read. It's also going to show you the discussion board link that you're going to have to do, as well as the progress checkpoint, right? And that's it. Just 2 assignments. That's cool, right? I think it's cool, but what do I know? I'm just the guy grading them. But let's start anyway. In choosing search terms for sources, click on that and you will get to this page here. And honestly, this is just a quick shot of understanding where to start with search terms. Truthfully, I'm not too keen on this page as some of the information is nowhere detailed enough and some is just truly antiquated and incorrect. So let me give you some ideas. The research plan here is a solid one with a couple of tweaks. You're already selecting the database. You've already gotten the debatable academic topic. You absolutely must read more about that topic. Your research questions must be developed and listened to, and then you create search terms to look for sources. But there's a problem here. So if you look closer, you'll see the problem. In order to read more about the topic, you actually have to search for the sources first. So how can you read in the second step when you're actually searching in the fourth step? Basically, you need to select the topic, generate the research questions, get the search terms, then find the sources to read. Once you do that, then you can go back and ask better questions or revise the old ones, and then do the process all over again. It's more cyclical and less only 4 steps. So, the next part, well, I actually disagree with this part almost completely. First, there was a search engine in the days before man went on social media called Ask Jeeves. And the only way to get what you wanted was to literally ask Jeeves, a cartoon butler, by the way. Sort of like a really dorky Alfred from Batman. Well, you were to ask him a question. Yes, that's him. Pip, pip, cheerio, and all that stuff. And yes, friends, this was a real website, and this was its real logo. Ask your parents, or maybe even grandparents, if they remember Ask Jeeves. If they say yes, of course, then congrats. Your mom and dad is a dork like me. Anyway, you would ask him a literal question. Just because Jeeves has long since retired does not mean that you can't still ask questions if you can't get started. The point that whomever wrote this page here is trying to get across is that the volume of words that you use within the search will affect the returning results. The more words you put in, the less results you get back. The less words you put in, the more results you get back. Why? This search looks for all of the words that are mentioned in the document. Okay? That means that if you go out there and write 15 sentences, it's going to look for a source to come back with all 15 of those sentences. All right? If it's too specific, you're going to miss something. So if you put in medical practice Gettysburg, you might actually get results that tell you that Gettysburg Medical College also practices golf on Thursdays. You'd have to add certain keywords like Civil War in quotes, or take out certain things like adding a hyphen for minus and the word golf to eliminate that result. These are called Boolean or Boolean operators. You can put a plus sign or a minus sign or the words and or to manipulate the results accordingly. So that's, beautiful here, right? Cool. Underneath that, there's some absolute need for one of my instructing colleagues downstate for you to use Credo, even though it is most people's least favorite of all the database engines that we have accessible. You're 100% welcome to use it, but you're not required to do so. I think SIRS, SIRS is much nicer. How do we find this place? Oh, that's easy. First, we go back to the main page, which is our portal page. Oh, we're going to go to Student Resources here. Under Student Resources, look over here on the right and scroll down until you see Student Success Toolbox. Then find Library. Click on Library, the accordion box will open up, and the second section is Databases. Here is Credo, the second link, because we're in alphabetical order. SIRS is all the way towards the bottom, and you access them through there. It's actually quite easy, okay? So, that's where you would find all the databases. And there we go. Perfect. So, beautiful, lovely, amazing. Let's go back. Underneath this, we have finding sources on the internet. Clicking on there, we get to here. And it's pretty basic, but it's necessary to remind you of the most important rule for looking for anything on the internet. Just because it's on the web does not mean it's true. I'm pretty sure most of you know this, but you can't trust everything that you see on the internet, okay? So this page is here to keep that in your head. Just because you can find it with a few clicks doesn't mean it's worthwhile. I would recommend watching the video here on Google search tricks, because while all of you Google things, very few of you know the different tips and tricks which make your searches powerful. Underneath that, there's a list of helpful websites that could actually help you through all of the pretty solid data that you need for your argument. You can trust that material was compiled in an above-board way. So here we have using the cite operator to kind of show you how to search for it, and then the and or the Boolean operators, like I told you, combining them. Here are the helpful websites, Statista and all sorts of different places here. Wonderful, amazing, and great. And that's very helpful. But then we get down here to the problematic websites. And I have some problems with the problematic websites. First, everybody always wants to say that Wikipedia is the most terrible website known to man. It is not a problematic website, okay? It is a tool that can be misused, but it's a good place to get a general understanding of your topic. Don't be afraid to go there because your high school English teachers were lazy. Wikipedia should not be cited in your paper, but it's easy to get a good understanding of where to start, okay? We're going to skip that idea real quick and come back to it. ProCon is a decent website to get the whole picture, but don't lock into the other side of the argument because it's going to show you both sides. It's not going to show you one side or the other. It's a both sides website. It's not necessarily the greatest place to go. I do not want to see them in your paper because, again, this is kind of like a background idea. University Wire is a really decent place for students to get published, but it's only student writing, so that research and attention to detail may not always be the best. So therefore, skip anything that you find on University Wire. Personal blogs and websites should always be avoided because they are using more than just the ramblings and opinions of the site author. It's just whoever owns it is going to push forth their ideas more than anything else. Keep it researchable, okay? This is the one I wanted to come back to, okay? It didn't make sense when I said it, but it'll make more sense now. Commercial websites. Raise your hand. How many of you had an English teacher that said, don't use .coms? They were wrong. They were lazy. They were ignorant. .coms are just as fine as any other source, except you have to pay attention to them, okay? If they're trying to sell something or they're trying to convince you of something very clear that's going to help add money to their pockets, yes, of course, avoid them. But just because it says .com does not make it a bad website. Don't believe me? Let's go back up here to the sites that we actually have listed here. We have Statista, which is a .com. We have The Economist, which guess what is a .com. Harper's is an org. Insider is a .com. NPR is a .org. But Newsweek is a .com. The New York Times is a .com. Popular Science is a .com. And so forth and so on. Okay? So just because it says .com does not make it a bad source. There we go. Everybody happy? Excellent. Let's go back. All right. We are now looking for finding journal articles. And guess what? This really isn't a long one. So we click on this, we get to here, and honestly, I can sum this up. I think it's a long-standing misconception by students and teachers alike that source material has to be incomprehensible and lofty to be any good. Don't get me wrong. There are many, many absolutely brilliant sources out there in the world that are superbly written, impeccably researched, and peer-edited that are amazing complements to anyone's research. But when do you actually need them? All right now, you're enrolled in what amounts to be a freshman composition class. This is practically the same course that you would have at any accredited college anywhere in this country. You are learning how to put the material together, and you are learning how to make your voice heard. What you do not need are these amazingly intricate academic journals that are geared towards those in master's level or doctorate level or beyond programs. It would be like asking my third grader to read To Kill a Mockingbird. While he might be able to get most of the words right, he'd probably never grasp the thread between all the ideas. It's not because he's not smart enough. It's because he doesn't have the necessary experience to understand it yet. So what I'm trying to say is this. I want to see you research your topic academically. I want to see that you dip your toe in and wade through the databases to find these journals, but don't expect to have immediate comprehension. These are things that you really have to work hard to understand. So if you say, Mr. Christopher, I have 2 articles on pulsed field ablation helping arrhythmias from the Journal of the American Medical Association and the New England Journal of Medicine, I'll say, hey, guess what? That's fantastic. Can you explain them to me? Because I'm not well versed enough to understand 2 of the top medical journals in the world. Can you help me? Then, after your jaw gets picked up off the floor, we can try to find more accessible sources so you can use them, okay? So this is a great page, you can take a look at it, but honestly, it's going to take you back to the databases that I showed you first, which was back here. Hey, look, there they are. Fantastic. And also how to link and use EBSCOhost. All right, EBSCOhost is probably my favorite database, truthfully, because it's got a lot of really good academic sources, but they're actually quite accessible as well. All right? Okay, so there we go for that. Let's go back. We now have the last page to look at, which is evaluating sources. And, hey, guess what? It's very basic, very easy, okay? The scholarly sources here are sources that are written for a high-level audience, edited by experts in the field, and published in recognizable sources. Okay, there it is. Hey, guess what? What is a scholarly source? What if I'm not using a scholarly source? Oh, well, then you have to actually start to pay attention for it. What are some other scholarly sources? You can take a look at this on your own. But the whole point is, I want you to remember that the sources that you find from the databases should be the best of the best. But they're not always the best for you. Sometimes you're going to have to go out to Google, okay? So remember my example previously about my third grader reading To Kill a Mockingbird? Try this one. If you find an article that is brilliant, but it's written in Swahili, and you do not speak Swahili, what good is it? Use sources you can understand and sources that fit with your audience's awareness. Now, I want to spend the rest of this page talking about CRAAP. No, silly, not poop. CRAAP. And not just simple crap. I'm talking about crap. Let's face it, what good is a semester without a good poop joke, right? I mean, am I even teaching if I didn't go there? Anyway, CRAAP is an acronym that helps us determine if the source material is worth our time or not. In short, is the source crap or not? Now, you can look through the CRAAP test overview here. You can go down here to where it's split up, or we can take a look at the CRAAP poster really quickly. And I'm going to review it, even though a lot of you, or many of you, or all of you should remember this from English 101. There are 5 elements in the CRAAP test, okay? This is going to be very helpful to you in your evaluations because each of these bulleted questions can be used in your paper to help increase your understanding of why the source is good or bad, okay? So first we're talking about currency, which has got nothing to do with money. It's got everything to do with the timeliness of information. I want you to give me sources that are 5 years old or less. So that means we're talking, let's say, 2021 through today, okay? January of 2021 through today. 2026, 2025, 2024, 2023. Technically, it should be 2022, but it's the summer. I'm willing to give you an extra year, okay? Anyway, 2021 and beyond. Relevance. Obviously, it's very easy. Does this source match up with my topic? Or is it just kind of like something I found that looks okay? Authority. It's got everything to do with the source of the information. Who wrote it? Who published it? Where was it posted? Things like that. It's going to actually give you all the information of where the information came from and how it's reputable or not. Accuracy. Obviously, is it true or not? Can you prove that this material is actually correct? And then purpose. There are 3 general purposes I want you to remember. Think of PIE, P-I-E, persuade, inform, entertain. What does this source do? Does it try to persuade you on something? Is it trying to inform you of something or simply to entertain you? And entertaining is not just, yay, this is fun. It could be something that scares you, something that makes you sad, something that makes you angry, something that makes you laugh, okay? Awesome. So that's the gist. It's something you heard in English 101. It's something you'll continue to use. It's worthwhile, but you won't have to do it as much at the level of detail as you get better at it. You know, you'll just know. So down here we have all the different videos. We can talk about currency and relevance. We have accuracy, we have authority, and we have purpose, just in case you weren't completely sure about the information. So that's everything we have to talk about in terms of reading. So let's talk about the source material. The assignments this week. So first, we're talking about the Unit 1 Development Brainstorm Part 2, which is this here. It's going to be your second part of the discussion board, which you completed last week. And honestly, it's a way for you to explicitly state the topic that you're choosing. As long as you looked through the Selecting an Appropriate Topic video, which, if you go back here, it's right here, Selecting an Appropriate Topic, you can see how to create that topic as well as which topics aren't allowed to be done. You should be fine, okay? If you skip that video, again, week 1 in activities or practices, that will help you. Go back and take a look, okay? So I'm going to make sure that you're held accountable for these. So if you don't pay attention to that, you're going to be mad at me for telling you that you can't do a topic. Be prepared. Look at the sample I gave you. Oh, look, there's a sample. Honestly, I want you just to copy the bold here and then answer it. Copy the bold here and answer it and answer it. Look, I've got 2 here for me and for my audience. This is all spelled out right here. And then finally, again, tell me what are 3 possible debatable questions that you could use to review your topic. Honestly, as long as you're not doing this at 11 p.m. on Sunday, you'll be fine, okay? Once you get through that, obviously I want you to go back and reply to 2 of your peers' posts, and you'll be in really good shape. How's that sound? Wonderful. So then we have our second one, which is the Unit 1 Topic Development Brainstorm. And you click on that, it takes you right to here. Honestly, there's not much to it in terms of directions, but I'd like you to download the planner, which by clicking on this button, you will get to this lovely document. It's not the original planner because, honestly, whoever created the original planner did a terrible job with it, so I decided to redo it. And I think it's much lovelier, and a lot of my students enjoy it as well. So off we go. I'd like you to fill in the boxes, the white boxes here, and the boxes will grow and shrink depending on what you put in here, okay? And you can always take everything out, no problems. So just follow along, tell me what your general topic is, and answer the prompts that are in each of the sections. I have it split out to show you what the final paper should look like for this unit. So you're going to have a 1-paragraph introduction here. Then you're going to have the research methodology paragraph. Give me 3 questions that relate to your topic, showing you how to research. What are some of the sources that you found? Like, what databases or sites did you use? Did you use SIRS? Did you use Credo? Did you use EBSCOhost? Were you able to go to Google Scholar? Okay. You know, what are the search terms that you used? Yes, literally, I want to know what you typed into the search box to get those source materials, okay? Then we get down to paragraph 3, because paragraphs 3, 4, 5, and 6 are going to be related to the 2 sources that you find for your topic. One source is going to support your idea, and another source is going to go against that idea. So here you're going to give me the rhetorical information right here. Who is the author? When was it published? What was the title of the article? What is the source? What was the URL if there is no, if you got it from a website? And then I always help my students with the initial summary sentence setup. So literally, you were going to take the title of the article and put it here. The date of the article and put it here. Where we got it from, which database. The author and the author's name here, and then give me the thesis statement right here, okay? That way, you already have the first sentence here. As you can see, it's still paragraph 3. And then you're going to give me the overall view. What did the author say about this? You can always take out the added citations. I don't know why that's in there like this, but that's kind of what they should look like. So you can always use that as an example. But give me 3 major details and the associated citations. Once you get through the summary, then you're going to tell me the evaluation of that source using the CRAAP test, okay? You're going to have, how does it relate to your current research questions? And then talk about the currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Don't say, it's current, okay? I don't need 15 sentences to tell me it's within 2 years. But you can say, oh, this source is current because it was found it was written in 2024. Great. That's all I need. Wonderful. Okay. And then what are the strengths of this source and what are the weaknesses of this source? Once you go through that, then we switch to our second source, and you're going to do the exact same thing for the second source that you did for the first source. Okay. So you can see once we get through the source material, we're now in paragraph 6. We go into paragraph 7, which is research reflections. Literally, answer these questions. Give me like 2 or 3 sentences for an answer. It'll be great. And then finally, your conclusion. Answer these sentences, or answer these questions again, and then try your best to give me 2 formatted references. Right here, I have a link to Purdue University's OWL page, the OWL, the Online Writing Lab, which will show you how to do that. Complete this, and then you can submit it back here. And once you submit it, I will take a look at it, go through it, and make sure everything is good. So if you have any questions or concerns, please email. I hope you're watching this video early in the week rather than Sunday night, because I won't be answering emails until Monday morning. All right? Anyway. This was a lot of material. Mass grading is not a lot. Hopefully the videos continue to get a little shorter, but I enjoy talking. Okay. Have a great week. Reach out if you need me, and I'll be looking forward to seeing where your ideas are with the exploratory research essay. See ya.